Howdy there. A couple nights ago, I saw the Separation. It won Best Foreign Film at this year's Oscars. And I think more importantly, more surprising, it was nominated for Best Original Screenplay, just like period. So I think that's impressive when a foreign film gets a screenplay nomination. And honestly, I've always felt that the screenplay award is like really the award you want to get. It's because story is everything, and it's honoring the best story. And so I never really wanted to see it from the trailers just because I knew that it would be massively depressing. And, you know, I don't love to pay $12 and go sit in the theater and be massively depressed. I've always thought that I don't need help with that. You know, I can do massively depressed just on my own fine. You know, I don't need, it's not an escape, you know, it's just to go and it's an experience, not an escape. My detractors, my critics will hate me for not knowing any of the names for this film. I can't tell you the director. I can't tell you any of the actors. I could have looked it up, but they didn't provide any English translation for the credits. So I didn't even get to, you know, read the names. So I have no idea. Usually I try and memorize, but I did not get that opportunity here. So I apologize for not being able to tell you any of the crew, cast or crew. Separation is about a separation. It's a divorce. It's an Iranian film. And I think that's kind of what got its, you know, so much attention is, well, America and Iran aren't exactly friends. So it's very nice to see that, you know, and I think it's important for the American audience to see that the Iranians are just like us. You know, they're just like us. Perhaps just their leader is a little bit out of touch. You know, I don't know. So I think that's really where the importance comes in just this timely matter to see this incredibly human and touching story. And, you know, it gives dumb Americans, you know, something to identify with. And perhaps sympathize with this, you know, land we're told is evil and our enemy. It's about a divorce, but it's about so much more. You know, it's not about much, but it's about everything, and the fact that it's about life. Two parents are getting divorced. They have an 11-year-old daughter, a teenager, you know, brilliant, great student, hardworking. So they're getting a divorce. Also living in the house and with the family is the husband's, the man's elderly father. 80 years old, has severe Alzheimer's, really can't even speak. So it's basically a family of four. You know, dad, or patriarch, grandfather, the married couple, and their daughter, living under, you know, one roof in a rather, I guess, small apartment. So they get, you know, a separation. The wife moves out. The husband must have someone to help him take care of his father because he works a lot. He works every day, can't leave his father alone. He hires someone to come take care of the father. Enter the other family we meet. You know, things happen, and there's an accident. I don't want to go too much into it. There's an accident, and the woman that they've hired to care for the grandfather is pregnant, and she loses her baby. She has a miscarriage. She blames the husband, the man who has hired her, and they go to court over this miscarriage. So again, it's not only about a family falling apart, but this family affecting another family by, you know, having them fall apart. So it's just people falling apart and doing their best to love no matter what, and try and stay together. It's, you know, it's hard to watch sometimes. I'll say sometimes that I felt uncomfortable because I felt like I was watching something that I shouldn't be allowed to watch. It's like, you know, why are we seeing this? Why is this being allowed to happen? And that is an extreme compliment to the reality of the film. I mean, it takes you to another place. You are a part of this story. The acting is incredibly natural, just naturalistic. I mean, even there's two kids. There's a teenager and just a, you know, like a little girl, and they're so good in this movie. And and again, I've said it many times, but when you get a true performance out of a kid who shouldn't really have access to that pain and that emotion yet, and yet somehow they do, and they pull it off, it's just really kind of amazing to me. And you have two great performances here from kids. I mean, really, seriously, the acting is intense. Totally real. The film is absorbing. If I haven't said it yet, but I'm giving it a 9. You know, it was extremely powerful. It probably would have altered my year-end best list. It would have been on there somewhere, just because, you know, I don't think something was so directly emotional and powerful that I've seen this year. I really don't know what else to say about it, just because it was so kind of magnificent. But the film, you know, basically, again, this is a broad statement, but basically takes place in 2 locations. It takes place in the apartment of the family, the main family, and the courtroom, when, you know, they are arguing over this miscarriage. He's being charged for murder, for making her miscarry her 4-month-old fetus. You know, she's been pregnant for 4 months and she has a miscarriage, so he's charged for murder, which is interesting. And so the film basically takes place in these 2 locations. I love films that are contained, that, you know, don't have to go everywhere to make you feel like you've been, you know, somewhere else. For, you know, this is a 2-hour, 10-minute film. You know, I didn't think I was in America at all. You know, I felt like I was getting this intimate glimpse into another culture, and again, just witnessing this very human story that you can't help but identify with. You know, I can't ever say that I got emotional. You know, I never cried, and I have no qualms telling you if I cried at a film. I never really cried at this film, but I mean, it is incredibly powerful. You know, incredibly powerful, and so simple. You know, it's so simple and it's elegant. There's no happy ending. There's no easy way out. Everyone suffers. You know, everyone suffers. So it is very true. You know, it has something to say. You know, it's important. I really don't know what else to say. Probably because I don't know really any of the names associated with the crew and the cast. And therefore I can't really talk about them. I didn't recognize anyone in the film. I don't know who wrote and directed it, so I'm sorry about that. I know some people love to hear that stuff. But, I mean, if you can see this film in the big screen, I mean, do it I always am for the big screen. But I could see where you could wait to be at home just because it's, very powerful, and it's very sad. So I could see where you may not want to go have fun on the town and see a separation, because it's just going to, rip your heart out. It's going to rip your heart out, but it'll make you think. And again, I think it comes at a very important and timely fashion that tensions between America and Iran are they're very tense. The tensions are tense. Tension is high. And here we see that, they're us, they're us. So why fight? Why fight when we all suffer? Why add to that suffering, So I would call a separation an important film, especially for this time and age. Very powerful, very intimate, incredibly natural, powerfully true. It's 2 hours of truth. So that's the highest compliment I can think of. It's a solid 9, solid 9. So that's a separation. Thank you very much.